welcome to Saturday here today at the races. First official day of autumn here with Keith Fusel. A couple nice prices that we had yesterday, Keith.
Oh, did we have some prices? Prices galore. Well, we have that one exacta, 40 to 1 over 24 to 1. Somebody to my left might have had that horse just get beat. Well prepared first or Andrus by Damon. Led every step of the way. Tough beat there, but Mini-Me came swinging out wide to get up late. Some other prices, Baby Sox at 25.80. Where'd that race come from? Haven't been looking for that race from Baby Sox. Didn't see it. Got up. Katie's Notion, Theodora Grace, another well-timed ride by Forrest Boyce, letting things go on front. Shifted out 5 wide, rolled past through the final 16th of a mile. So I think things, these prices will continue throughout the weekend. These cards are that difficult.
Absolutely. That first couple of races will kind of be a reflection of it, Keith, in our picks. As we go on to the track, kind of overcast today. Beautiful day for racing here. The dirt is fast and the turf is firm. And let's get going in our first leg in our early pick 5, of course, in this turf race here, going 1 1/8 on the turf, kind of how yesterday started as well, in this claiming 20,000, which have never won 2 for the 3-year-olds, and up scratches in the 2, 8, 12, and 13. Keith, you go with the number 3 on top, and Roja Redemption in the barn of Jack Fisher, Forrest Boyce. Solid choice there at a nice morning line, 10 to 1.
Would have never ever imagined we land on the same 2 horses in the first 2 spots.
Yeah.
That's how wide open this race. So Rojo Redemption, maybe you're kind of thinking what I'm thinking. Second off of a break, smaller sample on the flats. He's just dangerous as anything on the hurdles, but the flats. Jack Fisher, small sample. 2 for 5, but 5 for 5 in the money. Second after the 6,280-day break on the turf with a 228 ROI. Went and watched that race. Not a ton of flow in that race at Colonial, but I think just got what he needed. You go back on the page, 1.25 miles, 1 5/16 miles. Definitely able to handle the longer distance, stretching out a furlong here. It's a little bit of pace, not a ton. I think it's going to come from Always Fun. So we can go right to the video spotlight for the 7 if we can, because I think he is going to be the pace in this race. But I think Rojo Redemption will be able to kind of sit inside, maybe let that cover take him along and finish up well under Forrest Boyce to get the job done at a big number. I think Dr. High going to take play. But let's watch Always Fun with this little cat and mouse game going on. 2 races back here in June, 48-3, picked it up to 12-2, was confidently handled, I thought. Now, long shot to the outside. This maybe wasn't the strongest of maiden 30 fields, but when I give the comment eager in that short comment in the Racing Formula track program, the Equibase comments, you got to pay attention, because this horse was running through the final 3/16 of a mile, separates, and even on the raise up to 45-2 in life, Callie, this horse took plenty of play. Back down to 4 to 1. The numbers don't quite stack up, but I do like the fact that there's not a ton of speed. I think that's going to help his chances for a very capable barn, Gina Perry. Now, we saw yesterday, and this turf, you can close on it. I mean, it hasn't been completely kind to the speed. So we're going to have to get a good nursing ride up front from Alvelo, something that he gave for this horse a couple races back. Take a shot at there at a price. The 15, Awesome Strike. Just kind of steadily right there, knocking on the door. How many straight seconds? It's been
4.
A bunch, right? 4 in a row. Got so many marks on these pages. Yeah. But a good effort last time. Caught wide. That was the first time in the barn for Samraj Singh. We saw Troy hit yesterday in the first race. Big effort there. I think this one just, again, a little bit more ground saving. Proven can handle this distance. That's key. You got a pretty reliable kick from Awesome Strike.
Yes.
So very tough to leave out of your exactas tries and superfectas. The 11, Dr. Hyde, yes, will be positioned, I think, fairly forward in here. This Keith Dickey trainee ran a couple good races of late. Position enough speed. I thought the race at Colonial last time was pretty good. Made that move into a little quicker third quarter just to fade ever so slightly. We'll be looking to strike once they leave the far turn. 3:15, 11:7. You could talk me into a bunch of these in today's opener.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that, Keith. But we have 9 other races that we've got to go through. Let's go ahead to race number 2. It does kick off the early pick 4 on the dirt in this claiming 30,000 for the 3-year-olds that have never won 3, going 1 mile second wire finish here on the dirt at Laurel Park. Keith, you go with the number 7. Let's go ahead ahead and take a look at War Master from that effort back at Timonium for Jamie Ness, Javian Toledo.
Goodbye note with a really big effort, a strong effort to kind of come up the inside and work outward to get up. But War Master, 3 wide, shifted 4 wide upper stretch here. It just makes a steady progression to gain about 3-4 lengths through the final 1/8 of a mile. Not quite going as well as Goodbye note, but willing enough. 3rd off of a break. I like this angle for Ness. Turf to dirt. Also high percentage for this barn. Positioned outer portion here at the 1-turn mile. Not a slew of speed. War Master, this is a horse that caught my eye the first couple of races, and stretching out on the dirt is not an issue for me. You're looking at the family. I think the bottom side, you see some 1.25 mile efforts in South America able to get it done. I want to see War Master forward, and I think you're going to see his best race of late to be a player here at a good 6-1 morning line.
Just underneath Margie's Fun Son for Joanne Schenkel. Again, got that $25 winner yesterday with Carlos Lopez here in the saddle for this ride.
He's just been consistent. He's been kind of been running forever. He's been a popular claim, running for everybody. Doesn't have a ton of early speed, but I don't think they're going to get too far away from him. He'll ramp things up from the top of the stretch home for a barn that's going quite well.
7-8-1-5 for Keith Fusel there in race number 2. As we go ahead back on the turf here for race number 3 in this maiden claiming 30,000, going 1 mile and 16th on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, just scratching the rail horse. Amen McLaren. Let's go ahead with your top selection, Keith. Let's talk about the number 8, all sewn up here in the barn of Eddie Graham. Angel Cruz gets the call.
Yesterday we mentioned later, kind of towards the end of turf season, we wanted to hang around for a while, but it's a 5-year-old. 5-year-old, late to the races, 16 claimer first time out. Went back and watched it. Settled on that softer course, had a little bit of trouble upper stretch and kicked on willingly. This is a protect move. You're thinking, okay, it's like you just keep it back at 16. No, they're going to raise a little bit, but it's the numbers that the horses ran in front of. Sabby comes back with a 69 buyer. Rum Tum Tugger, a 76, maybe slightly inflated. But this is a barn you have to respect. Eddie Graham means business. When he comes in here, we're going to get Angel Cruz today. A little stronger finish, I think, on this firmer turf course for all sewn up at a big number. You've got Prime to Go, and Gold Aspen certainly going to take the majority of play in here, the 2 and the 5. And I think Gold Aspen will get the jump. Will be forward first time for the barn for Delacour. Prime to Go, dropping. Those numbers kind of stick out. I just think this little protect move is enough to tip me off. You've got this horse into the mix. Let's take a shot for all sewn up to improve off the debut.
I like that angle a lot, Keith, getting back to that. Getting back to a turf that I think this one will really thrive off of. Let's talk about the number 7 who you have underneath. Blind Eye, Diane Moretti Torrealba gets the call here. Let's take a look back at that effort last time out at Laurel on the turf back in late July.
Yeah, just stymied here. You're going to catch this one down the inside, the 1 horse. 3, 4, 5 horses up in front, just really nowhere to go. And this is a barn, maybe not winning a ton, but the horses are live. They're running. Navigating through traffic here with Batista. You're going to get Torrealba today splitting around. Watch this horse the last 1/8 of or 16th of a mile, shifting out and finding. Look at this close. A wild horse rolling down the center of the course, right? Just simply runs out of ground, another 2 jumps. This one wouldn't be a maiden any longer, but Blind Eye, another one, moving up just a little bit. I like that effort, and go back on the page, some numbers that certainly work. The 2's the horse I'm really going to try to beat. I think Gold Aspen, you had to respect. First time in for this barn. The only try on the turf was solid. Cat and mouse game for this one at Indiana. Then it was like a 3 or 4 way battle to the top of the stretch to give way grudgingly late. Now, the only hiccup I got, that was a 74-1 shot that beat him that afternoon. But Delacour starting this Capital meet out very well. 8-5, 3-7. Yeah, I guess the 2, going to have to toss in. I like Starlifter as well. Been a victim of some wider trips. Company lines work. I think you might see X maybe a little bit more aggressive today, looking at the flow of this race. Just like on paper, he'll put him into the race. If he's able to save ground and tuck up into that far turn, I think he is a major player here for Phil Schoenthal.
I absolutely agree with you there, Keith. 8-5-3-7 there for race number 3. Race number 4, we're back on the dirt here. Starts your middle pick 4, Keith. You opt for a middle pick 4.
Yes.
Instead of an early pick 4, I can totally understand why, but you give us a nice $9 ticket for this is a great sequence.
The beating I took yesterday, it's amazing I even woke up this morning. But no, let's start with 2 horses in race number 4. Congress Hall. Well, Brandon, long drive winner, Brandon McFarland. And my sister Nancy, the 5. I think both of these will be very tough in race number 4. Single in race 5. Now, one of these firsters could jump up. If you want to protect a little bit, you can. Even Damon's horse ran big. Kristen loves question. But Silver Trinket, I thought, ran very well. Rapid internals in debut. Things might settle a little bit better today with Toledo shortening up for Brittany Russell. 3 deep in race number 6. 8, 10, 11. I like SS Sinatra today. Race 7, 7, 8, 9. Stick to those outer horses. Group hug should be very difficult off the claim. We'd like to see a little bit more flow because you've got a scratch of the 5, Icing, who I thought was going to be part of the pace.
There we go. I love that $9 ticket that Keith Fusel gives us here for his middle pick 4. Again, starts here in race number 4. A mile second wire finish on the dirt for the girls 3 and up in this claiming 7,500. Scratch in the 2. Recognize Me. You go with the number 4, and let's go ahead and open up with the conversation between your top 2 selections in the 4 and the 5. Congress Hall, My Sister Nancy. Let's go back to that Timonium effort, going 3 turns over at Timonium.
Yeah, and My Sister Nancy just has a little bit more positional speed than Congress Hall, and at a track like Timonium, it's usually going to play out in your favor. What I liked about My Sister Nancy is, she's run some really good races front end, but she's shown sometimes the ability to rate, and she did it this particular afternoon where she took back off of that lead, was confidently handled by Maldonado, went on the attack, through the backstretch run to get it done. Congress Hall, settled. It didn't go super fast early. That track was playing a little bit quick at Timonium this year when you really break it down. But this horse just makes a good, steady advance. I thought got into fairly close contention, leaving the far turn, does the chasing, just can't grind it out because, again, My Sister Nancy, she relaxed beautifully, and then when it was time to go, leaving that 3/16 pole at Timonium, she was ready, and she held firm to the wire. Things might change a little bit because She's Alino is in here today. She's a little quicker than that horse that was on the lead at Timonium, coming in here from Aaron McClellan. She's Alino might make My Sister Nancy work a little bit more. Slight edge to Congress Hall to grind it out late.
There we go. 4, 5, 3. The Haunted Room and 1 Sweet Talia.
Yeah.
The other Brandon McFarland to kind of bookend your picks.
Yeah, and she's another one. The one that can kind of rate just off of it, Sweet Talia. But I will say the 5 and the 4, proven at this 1-turn mile, no doubt about it. At Laurel, Haunted Room, I'm tossing this one in. Again, you're talking about you're looking at so many races. You glaze over. Okay, last 2 buried, last 3 buried. Okay.
Yeah.
Going to go back at some big numbers. This horse is struck at a big price. And I think at a mile, Darwin's just got to be a little bit patient. Can sit just off the speed, maybe tuck in behind My Sister Nancy and She's Alino. She's shown big efforts at a big price before. I'd hate to get knocked out by that one.
Okay, there we go. I like that. 4, 5, 3, 1 there for race number 4. Race number 5, we don't. Okay, so I have to do a Rainbow Pick 6 for you guys, but I don't have a $9 ticket. I have a $36 ticket for that carryover of 5,640, as we had no live tickets to end yesterday's card, of course, with some of the prices that we had. But going into it, I single on the first race in my first leg, and then I go 5 wide in my second leg in race number 6. I think you had the number 11 in that field in your.
I did toss in Benny Havens, yes.
Yes, yeah, I left him out, but I go, that's, to me, that was one of the biggest head scratchers, along with race number 8. I thought that one, I could have gone wider on that as well, but race number 9, I think it pretty much runs a little bit through them in my top selections, and then 2 deep in races 7 and 10 to wrap things up. I think the 4 is going to come in for the last race. I think the 4 is going to come in, at low money. I just have the 8 in as a little bit of an insurance policy. $36. I know I haven't been that expensive in quite a while, but I just feel like it's a ticket that kind of reflects what's going on for this card that we have here for Saturday's field. But let's get to it. Let's talk about the one that I singled on, ironically enough, in the maiden claiming 45, 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 2-year-old fillies. You and I both go with the number 5, Silver Trinket. Let's go ahead and take a look at that effort going 7 furlongs last time out for Brittany Russell.
Yeah, not the easiest distance for a first-time starter.
No.
But we've seen this barn time and time again. Get them ready. One of the few barns, right? They can get these horses ready to go at the 7/8 distance, even at the 1-turn mile. Silver Trinket took plenty of money, bet down to $1.40 to 1, and is just keyed up early. Really keen going out there. 22-2, 46-3. You just don't see that for 2-year-old fillies going 7/8 of a mile on this racetrack almost anywhere. That's pretty brisk. But
I've seen it. I've seen other ones with it.
But you get out to Del Mar and some of these other tracks to play a little quick. You don't see that here. And this horse gets collared, every right to get a little bit tired, but I thought willingly enough. That was a horse with experience, the Pecoraro runner that I think came back to run 3rd in a stake. Silver Trinket wouldn't surprise me at all if she's able to sit just off of it today. We'll see, but she's got enough speed to keep her out of trouble. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. The number 3 that you have underneath, Nancy Mary, Damon Dialdivico, Horacio Caramanos, who ended up with 2 wins yesterday.
Yeah, Nancy Mary in that race, rated inside, angle 4 wide, a fade. Got a lot out of that race. Made the move into the quicker flow, just couldn't quite sustain. The half-sibling Duck Pins made a big jump in its second career start. Looking for the same here for Nancy Mary Connections yesterday with that firster with a big effort. So Andres just to get beat. Damon capable second out.
And the number 6 that you have underneath in Persian, Linda Albert, Yomar Ortiz. You have to respect Linda with the first-time starters in the barn. I like the gate work leading up into this first effort.
I like that. Pick things up. That last 5/8 work by Blofeld, 18-19% with the firsters. First foal for this mare, but you go diving into the family. There's plenty of wins there. Persian looks to be well prepped, I as well as the 2 on a proud note. These are 2 firsters that certainly could show up in their debut.
5-3-6-2 for Keith Fusel there in race number 5. We will be right back after this commercial for the rest of Saturday's Tricky Card. And we're back here with a restricted allowance here. State bred allowance going 5.5 second wire finish for these 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 13, 14. We're going to go ahead and discuss the number 8, your top selection, Keith. SS Sinatra, you said earlier when you were discussing your ticket that you have a really good feeling about this one for Carrie Holbein. Brittany Scampton keeps the ride.
Oh, yeah. I think this one's just fine.
Yeah.
Lower number in return, 51 buyer. And then all of a sudden some improvement, some major improvement, including a good effort in a 2 other than optional at Colonial. We draw back here to the Maryland bred, Maryland sired. A little bit of relief here. Maya Prince is a good horse. This horse ran 2nd down there for Trombetta. I think is a 5-time winner. And the race, the way it's set up, had to take back just ever so slightly through that first 1/8 of a mile. I like the way that SS Sinatra, he settled. Once Brittany got this horse to the outside, he finished up quite well and was able to edge Cloudy, another proven turf sprinter at the wire. Another one's topped in like the low 90s. So I think that field was strong, works here, speed to target. Jolly Boss, very quick, great kisser, perfect sprinting on the turf. These 2 go out and ensure a very brisk pace. SS Sinatra, I think, has even a little bit more positional speed than, say, Great Idea. We're going to show this video spotlight of Great Idea, a winner last time for Phil Capuano. And we've got Horacio Caramanos right back. Look at this effort, 21-4, 44-4. Things going on hot and heavy on the front end. And Great Idea is going to make a big run to the outside. We'll see this about 4 wide. Just a steady hand ride past the 3/16 pole. A little bit of a bobble, then to go clear by 4. Right back at you. That was the open first level allowance back here against State Sires. Sets up well. Should be really tough right back for Phil Capuano.
Agreed. You also let's talk about Benny Havens, because I was fighting with this horse for TJ Aguirre. Sheldon Russell, of course, retains the call here, but just tried to give one run for that second wire finish last time out.
I like the fact that Sheldon comes back, sat well back off of that pace. Yeah. A little belated action. I like giving that comment sometimes, but I tell you, numbers on the page stack up. Flow's going to be there. Just looking for that bigger number, 18, 20 to 1 that slips through the cracks. Yes, I'll use Benny Havens in there.
8, 11, 10, 3 for Keith Fustel there in race number 6. Back on the dirt for race number 7, going 5.5 still for the 3-year-olds, and up in the starter optional 20,000. Scratch in the 5 icing, a big, dynamic scratch as far as the setup goes. Keith, let's talk about your top selection group hug here in the barn of Jamie Ness. Jaron Barbosa gets the call.
Maybe Osborne Smith with the 3 and the 4 has the 2 key speeds.
Yep.
They look like the ones. Some Charlestown Timonium races on their page to go out. Group hug, this is just the type of horse that Ness does so well with. These middle 20, 15 claimers. They go into his barn, a little bit of a break. Had this horse for about a month and a couple weeks. Yep. Monday morning quarterback, just too good. Came back to win with another big effort last time out for Huron. I think the 5.5 has never run this distance. But again, there's going to be enough flow because Sheriff Ronnie's going to be up to the front as well. Yep. Group hug to rally into. I love that try a couple races back on that heavier track behind Baracho to close up that 77. I think we're going to see a number like that right back today.
Absolutely. Then let's talk about the number 7 business model. Angel Cruz gets the call on this one, comes back to the dirt, and it comes in first time. Actually, not the first time out here at Laurel, but has been on a couple different circuits leading up into this effort.
A lot of miles on business model, right? He's traveled all over the country. Been spending some time down in Cajun Catcher, right? Down in Louisiana Downs. I love that. Comes in off of a win at a mile on the turf. Now we're going to go back to 5.5 on the main track. Throwing the darts. But you know what? Corrales does that, and he hits. So that's the key. First time in this barn, 30%. Doesn't quite have the speed of some of these other ones. So he's going to have to do some work. But we've seen these horses come in with Corrales, from Jake's and other trainers, and they just jump up and pop. I look for a good run from the back of the pack with business model.
Let's talk about the number 9, Sheriff Ronnie, Tim Kreiser, Horacio Caramanos. I like the placement and post of this horse really today.
Yeah, one of those trainers. He kind of has done all his main work up at Penn, Parks. He'll come down here. Always have to respect that with Kreiser. Hits with a big number, a horse that's holding pretty good form. And he's got a great draw here. We saw yesterday the way this track played. We had high and wides. You could get that trip and get it done. I think he puts the heat on Airport Company Clown. If he separates, say, the quarter pole, it's going to be very dangerous with all that conditioning off of those last 2 races.
Let's go ahead to race number 8 as Keith used to win 8, 7, 9, 6, and 7. And back on the turf in the restricted allowance. This time for the girls 3 and up, going a mile and 16th on the turf. Scratches in the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, and 15. The 13, 14, and 16 does run. Let's go ahead and discuss your top selection, Keith. In the number 8, Naval Empire. I love this pick here for Mike Trombetta. Victor Carrasco gets the call.
Yeah, just an odd race. Last 26, 452, and 3. Yeah. A weird race, the way that thing kind of set up at a mile and 6. Just too close. This horse wants to be a little bit further back and make that progression off the pace. It keys up against the right kind. A mile and a 16th. Recent efforts been a little bit of flattening. I think this group suits her, but she's going to have to get back. And she's been trying to regain that 3-year-old form. She hasn't quite got there. She got the one race with the 79, but let's see if she can bounce back. But I think she can here today at Trombetta at an 8-1 morning line. You might come down a little bit with some of those scratches.
Let's discuss your second in command in the number 9, Catch the Kitten, Katie Keel. Johan Rosado gets back to the turf. Pretty easy grab there.
I think, back to the preferred surface. Out of that race with Atlas Strong. She was in front of Naval Empire 2 races back on the page. Has enough positional speed, I think, within this group to get cover into that far turn. It's worked for her in the past. Tip out and make a run.
Let's also just discuss it because this is a bit of a wide field. Let's talk about the 14. Mosler's Image
Yeah.
for Claudio Gonzalez gets the call with Tori Alba here. Ran well at Monmouth, Tampa. It's just kind of coming back second off of the layoff.
Definitely targeting this Maryland bred for this specific Maryland bred, Maryland sired race. Went in there, dropped for the 12.5, got it done, got the claim. A little move soon. Again, a little slower flow, and just things just kind of fizzled the last 3/16 of a mile. I think Mosler's Image on the go back. Yeah, races work.
Right.
Tori Alba, outer post, is going to have to work hard to get position into the backstretch, then relax. But I don't think she needs to be super, super close to get it done. Her numbers stack up against this field. I like. Going to be a pretty shrewd claim here for Claudio Gonzalez.
Absolutely. 8, 9, 14, 16.
16. Let's talk about that one
Society
real
ball.
quick.
Yep.
Yeah, it comes in here. They wanted the turf last time. This is the turf debut for Society Ball, but deeper in the family, the turf is there. There is not a lot of speed in this race.
Right.
I would love to see Thais just kind of hustle out a little bit. She can drop over and clear into the first turn. Trust in that breeding, especially bottom side, deeper in the family, could carry this field a long, long way.
Let's go ahead to race number 9 back on the dirt here in this restricted allowance, going 7 furlongs for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching both of the Jamie Ness runners, the coupled entry Must Be Love and Jardani. You go with the number 8 Celtic Contender, of course. Got to have faith in this one here for Hammy Smith, Victor Carrasco.
Oh man, Celtic Contender, turf back to dirts and angles, but working for Hammy a little bit. I like this one a lot. Back to lay 6. We had lay 6 last time, but last time on the dirt, sans lay 6 in that concern stakes where, man, he looked like a stone-cold winner leaving the 3/8 pole. Was in hand, moving up menacingly. Got the lead. Touch of a hang, just a little out-finished. His draw's beautiful today. His speed is going to put him right into the action. Hammy, this horse is doing really well. I think this horse is going to prompt the issue of Doc Linkus. He possibly could go ahead and go against this group when you look at it. You break it all down. I like the form he's holding on the dirt. Going to try the older for the first time on the dirt. I think he gets it done. Won't be a big price.
That's what. Well, I'm trying to see which one is going to come in at the shorter price between the two. But you finish up with the 9 and the 2 in Delice Vita and the 2 on the inside now on the rail, and the band runs on.
Band runs on. Yeah, shortening back up. I like this guy sprinting. I think he's still capable at 7. At a mile. I just think this back to the one turn is going to suit him. He's had a couple not the easiest of trips of late.
Got it.
So looking for this runner from Hillwood Stable to bounce back with a better effort. Video Spotlight horse, your top selection, Doc Linkus. Man, maiden 30, first time out. Hugh McMahon, okay, no video. I'm sorry about that. And dropped in, got the claim, dominant. I'll just talk you through the race. Sat just outside the leader, put that one away, top of the stretch. Emphatic. I don't use that short comment too much, but this was a dominant performance by this 3-year-old by Opportunity.
Right.
The Maryland bred comes back in here against clearly a much more established, better field. But if that debut was any indicator, this guy's got some serious talent.
8-3-9-2 for Keith Fusel there in that restricted allowance. We're going to wrap things up staying on the dirt here in race number 10, and this maiden claiming 20,000, going 5.5 for the 2-year-old filly, scratching the rail horse Map to the Moon. Let's go ahead to our shared top selection. Remembering Lizzie for John Salzman Jr., Gina Vella gets the call. Let's take a look back at that first effort over at Timonium.
Let me know when it's on, because I got I've got no monitor, but I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna look at it up top. See that, Cal, over in the paddock? There we go.
I motioned to you, yes, that the monitor's over there.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry, but anyhow, Chase at Timonium, quicker internals. I thought all in all, willingly to the wire, and looking at the breeding, the stretch out should be okay. You've got some siblings and some family members capable from 6 up to a mile. A little bit more relaxed flow for Remembering Lizzie. We'll go to a stat as well. Salzman Jr.,
Past 3 years on the dirt,
yes.
6 for 20, and then 12 for 20 in the money. But second career start,
yes.
a really nice ROI of $2 and I believe 28 cents.
Second out's always strong with this barn. Well, we'll see how the flow goes. You've got a couple horses in here that possibly might send, but I think just that race got her tuned up perfectly to go ahead and graduate this afternoon. The real kind of question mark horse for me to guess is the 8, Evelina. Evelina coming in. How you find the spot, I don't know. Been training, down in Kentucky by Malibu Moon out of Elusive Quality Mare for Jonathan Thomas, a barn that's been rolling right along. That'll be interesting. Tab, I think will take plenty of money. I still give an edge here to Salzman Jr.
All right. Thanks, Keith. 4873 there for the last. Let's dive into your picks a little bit more. Let's start on your value play. You give us a couple value plays, but we start on race number 3 on the number 8. A bit of a magic number for you today.
Okay.
15-1 with All Sewn Up for Eddie Graham and Angel Cruz.
All right, we're going to go best bet first. Celtic Contender talked about that one. Turf to dirt angle, speed, positional speed, and stamina stays the trip. I think in Hound Doc Linkus, those two could be in their own little battle around the turn and through the stretch. I give the edge to this Hammy Smith train 8.
Let's see what value play they send us through first with race in your first value play. There we go. All Sewn Up 15-1.
Yeah.
Eddie Graham, Angel Cruz.
Yeah, maybe we can get the day kick started with a big number early on. All Sewn Up. Protect Move. Had some trouble over that soft turf course, but the competition came back to run big. That might pay a little dividend here at a 15-1 morning line from Off the Pace with Cruz.
Let's talk about your second value play in race number 6. 5-1 on the number 8 SS Sinatra. Carrie Holbein, Brittany Scampton here for your last value play of the day.
Yeah, this jockey trainer combo has been okay, and SS Sinatra is an improved animal. I love the effort against a better field, proven crack turf sprinters, optional claimers. Now drops back to a level and allowance, state bred, state sired. I think this horse is going to strike from the top of the stretch.
Let's also discuss the 3rd annual Horse Racing Women's Summit will be next week, and we will have a special someone from our Maryland industry that will be honored. Georgianne Hale will be rewarded with the Jane Goldstein Exemplary Leadership Award there, and others have been, this is the 3rd award that's been done, but she, a true pioneer for women in the racing industry.
Yeah, it's awesome. Georgianne's just great people. I've known Georgianne a long time. Somebody I can always talk to, laugh with, and always bring some good insight to the game and help me along. I mean, she's been a support system for me for a long time. One of the first, if not the first, female racing secretary at a major North American track back in 2000. All the work she's done with the Preakness, with the Black Eyed Susan, and anything else around the country, Breeders' Cup she's been involved with. And anywhere I travel, everybody's got just great things to say about Georgianne. So been glad that she's been a part of my career and has helped me along the way, somebody I can lean on a little bit, and a well-deserved award because she's done a ton for the thoroughbred aftercare.
Yes.
You name it. Congrats, Georgianne.
She's been a big advocate. She works closely with Maryland's Beyond the Wire program and the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. In addition, started the Canter for the Cause, which is a huge fundraiser for them, and it's such a special. But she's been so instrumental in our Preakness, our Black Eyed Susan, our Maryland Million programs, bringing back the Match Race Series. A mentor for so many racing officials. She started out in 1984 as an assistant racing secretary. Her actually first role of the top dog racing secretary was at Timonium in 1986 before she came on as the racing secretary in 2004. So Georgianne, from all of us here in Maryland, we thank you and we are so proud of you, and this is a very well-deserved and much needed by this time. It's been about time since Georgianne has been awarded something like this. So big congratulations to her. And we will go over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, good luck.